Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. A happy Independence Day again. I realize how unfree I am during this trip to Taiwan. I'm on vacation right now. Now, here in the hostel, I run into conflict just like anywhere else. But what distinguishes it is that I'm so far removed from home. What happens here kind of stays here. And it doesn't bother me as much. Back home, I get into a disagreement at a workplace. I got to work around these people, right? I had a colleague who was really upset that I had accidentally forgotten to clean up after myself in the break room at the college. What had happened was that I had been waiting for this student to take his final. I was very patient with him. He had already rescheduled his final exam twice. He had, quote unquote, had COVID, and then a family member had passed away. I don't know if it's true or not, but I was patient with him. And finally, the phone lit up with his number, and I couldn't wait to race to look for him because he had done that several times. Delayed it last minute, something happened, and I left a mess in the break room. And my coworker could have gently told me. Instead, he emailed the entire department, including my boss, for who knows what reason. And my boss didn't even take him seriously because later that day I happened to run into the boss and I apologized again, and she was like, "Oh, that's not a big deal." And you see, that weighs heavily. If that had happened here in the hostel, that's you got a really funny guest who is really sensitive, right? So, for some reason, at the hostel, you always run into somebody who's really sensitive to noise. Now, it would be one thing if at 3 in the morning, all of a sudden, I decide to turn on Taylor Swift's latest song and put it on full blast. That's one thing. But you also have some people who feel like they are completely entitled to a completely silent environment. If you breathe too loudly, if you get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, right, tiptoeing to the bathroom, that's too much for them, right? Occasionally you get somebody like that, right? But you know what? I just laugh. And so I just thank God that He didn't give me ears as sensitive as the other person, and that's that, right? I don't have to work around them. They're not going to go gossiping to my significant people in my life, and it just goes to show how unfree I am, right? Because despite America being such a free country, right? I need to get to a financial state where I can kind of work recreationally. I wouldn't quit my job, but I would actually do my job so much better. You see, on game shows, the host says, "What would you do if you won $2 million?" Oh, I would quit my job. No, I would go do my job the best because I can freely do it now. That's how I would answer that. I got to get on a game show so I can answer that. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.